Hey guys, thanks for joining me here at Talisa Aquarist. Today I'm going to be setting up this 5.5 gallon tank for a betta fish, and it will have lots of plants in it. But I'm also setting up this 20-gallon tank right here, an Aquarium Masters tank. They're supposed to be a lot better quality than the fish tanks at Petco and PetSmart. The glass is supposed to be tougher and the silicone is supposed to last a lot longer. So hopefully it's really good for me for the next like 30 years. That would be great. I'm replacing it with this 15-gallon tank here on the bottom shelf of my fish tank shelf because this tank is leaking. So got a lot of work cut out for me. I also got a new female betta today. Let me show you guys. She's really pretty. Right here. So the plan is to breed her to Finley, who's over here in this tank. He's right there. I think they'll make gorgeous babies. He's a red and blue half moon, and she is a koi half moon. So you can see she has that like blue marbling on her. So I'm going to put her in this 10-gallon tank. Currently, Peacock is in here. He's here in the back. He's getting pretty old, and he's from Petco, so, you know, they don't have the greatest health anyway. So I'm going to put her in here and move him to the 5.5-gallon tank that I'm setting up in the office. So I'll be switching tanks out and moving a lot of stuff around, but it'll be fun. They say do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life, and this is definitely true for me with my fish hobby. Alright, well, I'm just going to get started on setting up the tanks, and I hope you enjoy watching. The 20-gallon is all set up now. I have added the fish back. So what I did was I saved all the substrate. I saved the aqua soil, the sand, the gravel, and then I just put the aqua soil all in the bottom of the tank and put the gravel, like capped the aqua soil off with the gravel, and then I just capped all that off with a fresh layer of sand so none of that leaches out into the water. I also didn't paint the back of the tank black, so it does look a lot brighter and more open than the previous tank did. I do need to add a lot more plants, but I spent a lot of money on plants today, so maybe next month or in a few weeks or something I'll grab some more plants, but this tank definitely does need more plants. I also got the 5.5-gallon tank set up right here. Got all the plants added to this tank. I probably won't add more plants. It does look a little bare, but they're definitely going to fill in. This piece of driftwood refuses to sink. I've soaked it for like a week. I boiled it for almost 2 hours, and it still will not sink. So I'm guessing it's just going to float up there for a few months or something. But I'm going to add Peacock into here. He's an older betta fish that has just been struggling lately. He's just become very lethargic, and I don't think he's going to live much longer. So I think a 5.5-gallon tank will be a much better size for him. He was previously in a 10-gallon and he just didn't swim hardly ever. Yeah, he's not even wanting to explore this tank. The water temperature is good on it. Yeah, I don't think he'll live much longer, sadly. That's kind of how Petco bettas are. I've had him for several months. But yeah. And now I'm going to go add the female betta fish to her 10-gallon tank that Peacock was previously in. It's time to add this little girl to her tank. I've decided to name her Fable. I wanted her name to start with an F. Oh, there she goes. Because she's Finley's neighbor, and hopefully they will breed. I just thought it'd be cute if both of their names started with an F. She's so pretty. We'll see if she swims over here so Finley can see what he thinks of his new neighbor. Where is he at even? Oh, there he is. She's exploring her tank. She was kept in a small bowl up until now. I don't know how long she was at the store. I think it was like a couple weeks. I seen her right after she was brought to the store, and she's so pretty. Can't believe no one bought her. So I decided to buy her because I think she would make a nice breeding female. She's such a pretty koi. She's hiding. Alright, well, I'll give her some time to acclimate to this tank, and hopefully next month or within 3 weeks I will see if Finley has a bubble nest built, and hopefully they're courting within a week or so, and then I'll be able to breed them. Breeding betta fish is a lot harder than breeding most types of fish, and I've not ever done it before, so we'll see how it goes. You can stay tuned for that. I forgot to mention that in this tank I also did a layer of aqua soil and capped that off with sand and then capped that off with gravel, similar to how my other tanks are set up. Father Fish says for betta fish you do not want to add gravel on top of the sand because the food will fall down into the gravel and spoil. I haven't really had that problem. I try not to overfeed, and I guess if the food spoils in the gravel, then it will just be food for the plants. You know, I haven't really had much of a problem with that, but that is something to keep in mind when you're setting up these tanks. You really don't need gravel on the top. I just prefer it because stuff can sift through the gravel, whereas if you just have sand, it just sits right on top of the sand for a while before it sifts down through. Which is why it's helpful to have bottom feeders, because they can kind of help break all that stuff down that sits on top of the sand. But for the smaller tanks like this, I don't have a lot of bottom feeders. Some of you may be wondering why I don't have a filter in this tank or in my 20-gallon tank that I just set up. And it is because I have a thick layer of substrate, and when you have deep substrate, it cultures beneficial bacteria, which is what a filter does. So you no longer need a filter. Now, if you're worried about there not being enough oxygen in the water, that's why I have as many plants in the tanks as I do. And honestly, I could add a lot more plants. But I don't have the tanks overstocked at all. And as the plants get more mature, I'll just add a bit more fish to them. So the fish should be fine oxygen-wise. I hope this video was helpful to you and that you enjoyed watching it. If it was helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if you would like to stay caught up with my betta fish and how things are going with them, you can follow me on Instagram at Talisa Aquarist. I have the same logo on my Instagram account, so it shouldn't be too hard to find me and know that it's the same account. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.